The failure of the Epic Games Store has been one of the best things ever to witness as a PC player, but the failure of the games on the Epic Games Store is a lot less fun to watch. Because what would Epic Games be if not a company willing to drag down literally everyone they possibly can before accepting their strategy isn't working? Which is why we saw situations like the Kingdom Hearts thing, where Kingdom Hearts was on PC through the Epic Games Store for literal years, and yet when the games were announced for Steam, it was a huge deal, and a lot of people didn't even know they were there to begin with. We're talking about the company that openly admitted that the vast majority of the revenue it makes from its own storefront is from one single game, and that one single game is Fortnite. This is not a storefront, it is a Fortnite launcher. But you need more evidence? Oh, how about Alan Wake 2? The fastest selling Remedy game, and one of the most acclaimed games and most talked about games of the entire year, and yet it still failed to turn a profit for a ridiculous amount of time, largely in part to what I have to imagine are extremely low PC sales, because it was exclusive to a storefront that nobody uses. And the reason nobody uses the Epic Games Store is because it is buggy, it is slow, it is overpriced, it comes with a lot of back-end software that PC gamers are just getting less and less tolerant of by the year, and it's run by the most insufferable person in the entire industry. Yes, I am being serious, and yes, I am including Neil Druckmann. Watching the Epic Games Store has been really satisfying because PC gamers don't want this thing, PC gamers don't like this thing. It is nice to have that validated with terrible numbers from Epic themselves. But what it is not nice to see is the fact that despite all of this, despite Epic making no real profit off of this, despite Epic actively refusing to add basic features, even though they acknowledge that we want those features by putting them in a roadmap, Epic continues to cry year after year, month after month, about Steam being a big dastardly monopoly, but all the while they are actively refusing to do the things that Steam does. You could be just as good as Steam tomorrow. You are actively choosing not to be. That's not a monopoly, that's just you being a dog shit service that nobody wants. It is not a monopoly, it is you failing to beat the competition. You absolute clown show of a company. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, that despite all of this, Epic is still going ahead with their third-party exclusivity thing, which is why it was announced the other day that Lords of the Fallen 2 is not only greenlit, I forgot this game existed, apparently it's getting a sequel. A second sequel? Question mark? Wouldn't this be Lords of the Fallen 3? Or are we supposed to just forget that the original Lords of the Fallen happened? I'm so confused by this franchise. But anyways, Lords of the Fallen 2 is in development. It's targeting a 2026 release date, say it with me kids, Lamau, and it is going to be exclusive to the Epic Store on PC, which means not only is Epic planning on still doing dogshit PC platform exclusivity as far forward as 2026, but it also means that you are actively withholding a Souls-like game from the Steam community, which is where basically all of the PC Souls-like community is based. That's where all the games are. That's where all the Souls-like games are. What are you doing? Why do you insist on doing this? Why do you insist on destroying people's art just to beef up your product nobody wants? That's what bothers me the most about this. Like, Epic is probably never going to make another video game, and that would be fine if they weren't also trying to hold down other people's art in the process. But given the fact that it's the current year and people are stupid, there were a lot of people trying to defend this news that the Epic Games Store is going to have another failure of a PC game on its hands. I, for one, am very interested to see what comes of Lords of the Fallen when it launches on console. It's a shame it's not coming to PC because Epic Games canceled the PC port. But let's just go ahead and look at some replies to this news, because a lot of people were trying to treat this as a W for Epic Games, or like trying to justify Epic Games dragging another third-party developer down with them instead of just, you know, making a better product. I mean, people will defend anything nowadays, so this one really shouldn't have been that surprising, but let's just see what people had to say about this. Eric says, people, this game on PC is exclusive to EGS, okay, that's DOA. Me, boo-hoo, hey PCMR fanboys, why can't you install EGS launcher? Why whining and crying river on that, spending $10,000 plus on fucking PC rigs, but can't solve this simple crap, get the fuck out and throw that PC already, clown face.
Shit. Look at that door, dude. See that door right there? One marked pirate. You think a pirate lives in there?
I see a door marked private. Is that the door you're talking about?
No, I was talking.
Yep.
I didn't say.
No,
What did you hear?
I heard you say you saw a door marked pirate. And
Yes,
is there a
that's what I
pirate
thought-
living in there?
No.
General rule of thumb, if you're going to try and dunk on somebody, you might want to learn how to speak any language. This isn't English. You might have been shooting for something else. If you were, I'm pretty sure you didn't hit that one either. I do think it's funny when console fanboys get pissy with PC people for criticizing the console market, because they'll always say things like, you're a PC player, why do you care about the console market? Like get out of our conversation. But then we have stuff like this, like PC players are being like, man, I don't want to use the Epic Store, and now someone who, by their own admission, is not a PC player is like, you guys suck, get the Epic launcher. What's that? You don't know anything about the PC marketplace, and therefore have no problem with the Epic Games Store? Man, that's not surprising even a little bit. The problems with the Epic Games launcher are plentiful, but it all comes down to one simple thing, and it's the fact that Epic Games is trying to monetize and monopolize the PC market in a way that can be done on the consoles but cannot be done on the PC. It is a fundamental misunderstanding of what this market is, which is why I'm not surprised so many console dudes don't see the problem with it. The Epic Game Store runs like ass. It has a lot of back-end software that a lot of people are not comfortable with. The games are often way overpriced. It is lacking basic features that basically every actual storefront has. It has an absolutely insulting user review system where you have to play the game for a certain amount of time and then be randomly selected by the store in order to leave a review, meaning the user review system is straight up designed to artificially inflate user scores because the only people reviewing the games are the people continuing to play it for a prolonged period of time, which means the user reviews are only taking the opinions of people who were going to give a more positive review of it in the first place. And I've said it in videos before, but that's how games like Jedi Survivor and Last of Us, like games that were straight up broken on PC, still had like a 4 out of 5 on the Epic launcher, because the only people reviewing it were the people who were either lucky enough to have no problems or who were going to muscle through the problems regardless. The Epic Game Store is a fucking joke. And all the while, Epic Games is yelling about Steam being terrible, Steam being a big bad monopoly, but you are fucking incapable of competing with them because you refuse to do anything Steam does, because if you did do anything Steam does, you would then have to acknowledge the fact that it has nothing to do with monopoly and everything to do with quality. And that's why it is so frustrating, and that's why PC gamers get so upset when a third-party game, not even an Epic game, a third-party game, a third-party IP, like Lords of the Fallen, and like Kingdom Hearts before it, and like Dead Island before that, and like Borderlands before that. We get frustrated when games are locked to the Epic Store because we are not going to use the Epic Store no matter what. And Epic putting money into securing exclusivity deals instead of putting money into improving their storefront just proves how unserious they are about this. Hello, I'm interrupting this video to remind you that this channel is sponsored by 4D Gaming. If you would like a really nice mousepad, go to 4dgaming.com and use code Joe for a discount. This channel is also sponsored by Glitch Energy. It's basically G Fuel, but better, so go to Glitch Energy and use code Joe for a discount. Thank you for letting me interrupt your content. I'll let you keep watching it now. But yes, Eric. Tell me more, Eric, about how whiny the PC player base is, Eric. My apologies for having respect for my own money, Eric. How about another tweet from Eric? Peven responds to the news and says, Epic Games Fortnite money funding another failure of an IP. How much funnier can this get? Most games that are Epic Games Store are DOA anyways, so I'm kind of glad. And then Eric responds, nah, EGS at least have better quality control than Steam, where it doesn't sell a bunch of garbage PC games or even scamming people. If by quality control you mean less games, then yeah, fact check true, I guess, but I wouldn't call that quality control. A lot of people over here are perfectly happy to deal with a bunch of shitty games being on Steam in return for all of the great things we have on Steam. If you don't want to play the shitty games on Steam, just don't play them, you fucking goosehead. But I like how you say that, oh, the Epic Games Store doesn't scam people, after I just went on that rant about how the user score system of the Epic Games Store is literally designed to trick you into having a more positive opinion of games than you otherwise would by hiding information from you. I mean, I don't know if that's technically a scam, but it's shady as shit. Like going up to bat for the Epic Games Store and trying to dunk on Steam on the grounds of shadiness in the business practices? Bro, just fucking pack it up. George responds, if a game is good, I have no problem buying it via EGS or GOG. Hell, I like GOG the best out of all of them. This Steam-only mentality on the PC is just as bad as console fanboying IMO. People aren't Steam fanboys, we just use Steam the most because it's the best service. We're not using EGS because it is a bad service. We do use GOG because it is a good service. We don't use EGS because it is a bad service. This is not console fanboying. This is the market declaring a winner. Why are you people like this? A person with name I can't say says, if it's on EGS, it's not on PC. Next. Then Not So Normal Dude responds, lol, buddy is seething over a launcher. I mean, this didn't sound like seething to me, but I also think people are just overusing the word seething. Like, am I crazy, or is seethe, like the whole seethe meme, it's being super overused. If someone says something that you disagree with, and your only response to them is like, you're seething, I mean, kind of sounds like you're seething, because you have no response. You have no actual, like, argument against the person saying a thing that you don't like. You have no actual reasoning for disagreeing with them other than, lol, you're seething. Like, you're having an emotional reaction to something that someone said, but you're accusing them of having the emotional reaction. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. Stop saying seethe if you don't know what the word seethe means. Richard Gouda quote tweets the news and says, PC Master Race, then proceed to cry the game isn't coming to Steam is peak hilarity. Ooh. I have the hiccups. Just because the game's not coming to Steam doesn't mean we're not going to play it. You know, if you catch my drift, yo-ho and whatnot, it just means we're not giving the publisher money for it. Which I think, yeah, would be an indication of PC Master Race. Because if we don't want to give a company money, we just don't, you know? If we want to force change in the industry, we have the power to do that. Like, I'm failing to see what isn't PC Master Race about this. Like, Epic is trying to cheese PC gamers over to the Epic Store. They're putting a lot of money into getting third-party games to come over to the Epic Store exclusively, and they're not making any money off of it. And eventually, they're going to have to pivot away from this strategy because the PC Master Race demanded they do it. What is not to get about this? But I mean, it's not like Richard actually gets this, because he also responded to someone else saying, so you're a console warrior minus the console. No, we're just smart consumers who respect our money, and you're not. I don't get this. I don't get this. If you want games to succeed, if you want art to succeed, why are you completely okay with a company doing everything in their power to limit the buying scope and the exposure scope of that art? No one can answer that. The only argument that people really seem to have in Epic Games' favor over Steam is like, man, this Steam guys, Steam's a monopoly, or like Steam gamers are just crying. It's like, those aren't reasons. You know what I mean? Like, everyone can tell you why they hate Steam, but no one can tell you why you should like Epic. Because you shouldn't like Epic. And until Epic stops with their nonsense, we're going to keep making fun of them for it, especially when they start dragging developers down with them because they refuse to make a fucking game every now and again. I still have not forgiven you for canceling Unreal Tournament, by the way, Epic. I still have not forgiven you for canceling the new game and shutting down the servers on all the old games because you are so creatively and artistically bankrupt as a company, you don't want any fucking first-party game other than Fortnite on the market. You literally made some of the best PvP shooters of all time and you refuse to associate with them because that might ruin your Fortnite image. Go fuck yourself, Tim Sweeney. Ooh! That felt good. That felt good. Felt good just releasing my pent-up vengeance towards it. Yeah, Lords of the Fallen 2 is gonna flop like shit on PC because of this. Like, I get it if you want to publish games, but why are you refusing to just publish games on Steam? Just publish the games on Steam and make them money. If you really want to stick it to Valve, put your games on Steam and take their money and run. You know what I mean? You really want to stick it to Valve? Fund a game, put it on Steam, and top the Steam sales charts. That's how you stick it to Valve. But you're not going to do that because that would involve creating anything. But you are not capable of that anymore. Ugh. Fucking hate Epic Games. Jesus Christ. Okay, toodles.